I'm Charlotte Lewis with Share with Charlotte podcast. I'm the creator and host, where emphasis is placed on finding balance in relationships. I have a topic right now that need to be discussed, but first let me do a shout out to Lisa for soliciting this topic as well as being a part of my podcast community. I thank you for this because it's a well needed conversation that need to be talked about, shared. But before I dive into this new episode and what this is, let me invite you to check out my other episodes. And if you feel that there's any information that you find insightful, encouraging, or whatever, just good feeding, please click the like button. And if you have not yet subscribed or followed, please do so to be a part of my podcast community. I really would appreciate that. And thank you all for the ones who continue to support and encourage me. I thank you. Let's go ahead and look into what this is. And it's one I know a lot of time I say it's the big elephant in the room, but it really is another big elephant in the room. And that is dismissing or entertaining body shaming. Body shaming, body shaming, body shaming. It's almost like it's an epidemic. It's everywhere and it's at all times. I mean, we do it all the time. And that is when you talk about mock or even scrutinize or either criticize the appearance of someone else's body or their shape of their body or the size of their body. When I say their body, I literally mean from head to toe. Also means any and all things that you put on your body, whether it be permanent or temporary, is all part now of your body. We as human beings, we're very visual creatures. And we quick to comment on what we see. And a lot of those comments are not always favorable. But even what it says, as I was doing my research, it says even when you give compliments, can be construed as body shaming. And so I had to really check myself on as I was looking and diving more deeper into this. And it says that if you're one of those people, which I know I have been, I still am. So therefore, I'm guilty. And if you're guilty like I'm guilty, then you are a body shamer. So I am a body shamer and I'm not anything that I want to feel good about. And I have to say shame on me. And then I have to say to you, if you are, shame on you. Because I know a lot of what we do isn't intentional to hurt someone. Then some people, it is intentional to actually hurt. But there's so many ways you can be a body shamer and get caught up in that spin. And these are just some of the things, and it's by no means all of them. You see someone that you think is too thin, too big, overweight. Someone who's whether they with someone who is like, I can't believe she's with him. She's gorgeous, but my God, look at him. Or someone that you see at a restaurant and they may be overweight, but they have this big plate of food in front of them. That kind of thing. And you're criticizing about the food and how someone eats. But you can literally talk about somebody from their hair all the way down to their feet, how they dress. Even something as simple as, you know what, that's a nice outfit, but that belt just doesn't go with that outfit. Or that outfit is nice, but man, look at those shoes. It's still body shaming. Or somebody like back in my day and back in my early years. Not so much now, thank God, I've outgrown it. But in my early years, when I was graduating out at high school, 100 pounds, out of 7 children that my mom had, I'm the only one who had a nose. And I remember people teased me about my nose and they would give this hook on my nose as if it was a funny thing to do, but it gave me such a complex about my nose. I'm sure a lot of us can think of some things that we don't necessarily like about ourselves or wish we could change about ourselves. I always wish I could change my nose. But as I gotten older, because my body weight increased and so my face got bigger, So therefore my nose doesn't look as large. My nose didn't shrink, it's just that my body caught up with my nose. But I used to really hate that. And I was so self-conscious of it that when people look at my face, I'm wondering, are they looking at my nose? And then at the time I needed a lot of dental work. And if they weren't looking at my nose, I'm wondering, are they looking at my mouth? I was so self-conscious of a lot of that. But it's body shaming if you make comments about it. But they're saying, as I'm doing my research, is also body shaming if you even make compliments because you're making someone feel as if the reason that you won't look good or is because of this. Or while I really like your hair, or I really like what you're wearing, so that all you see of me is what you see my clothes. There's a lot more to someone than just what they wear. There's a lot more to someone other than their body shape or size or the appearance of their body. But every part of your body can be scrutinized. That's the crazy part. Your ears. I remember when Obama, we used to always say his ears were so large. They were just like, I forget the animal their ears, but his ear just kind of hung out. And we used to say, wow, like a Mickey Mouse. There you go. Like a Mickey Mouse. But it's body shaming. Body shaming. And the very ones who we want to criticize, they got flaws. And then you look at yourself. Turn it the mirror to you. You got flaws. And if anybody can probably take a look at you, they can probably name a number of things of imperfections of what society and social media had decided as beautiful. Because you should first also look in the mirror at yourself. Because we're all imperfect people. We're all imperfect people. You can even be at a restaurant, having a meal out with whoever you with, your friends or even family. Somebody could come in and catch your eye, and you would immediately draw from that conversation to the attention of someone else that walked in, whether they overweight or whether there's some sense of abnormality that you have targeted. They could be someone who look like they just came in from the street or homeless. It don't even matter. Just anything to get your distraction for you to trigger you to say something is body shaming. But see, you're quick to say, but I'm not talking to them. I'm not saying it in their face. I'm just having conversation with the conversation. Yeah, you might not be hurting them, but you're sure hurting you. And I say that because we are defined, it should be defined more so by our character. That's not a good look on you when you can have that kind of conversation to be degrading to someone else. So we need to catch ourselves. I'm catching myself just based on the fact that as I was doing the research and as I was diving into it, because of the harm you do to people, the harm you do to people by body shaming, by body shaming. And we're not somehow divided as to who body shamed and who's not, because people say, well, women catch it more. Yeah, women catch it, but men also catch it. I was looking and reading, they were saying that 90% of the men don't even like the way they eat. They don't like their bodies. 90%. And out of that 90%, you're looking at 48% that says that they've had mental issues because of their body. Mental issues because of what they consider to be a flaw about themselves. It's almost like 1 out of every 2 people. That's huge. So men are not no more, no less really subjected to body shaming as it is women. We have a problem. And so my question to you is, are you part of the problem? Are you part of the problem? Because you know what? I've been part of the problem. And I'm keeping it real. I've been part of the problem because I just didn't see the magnitude of the harm by judging, because that's what it really is. It's about judging. Now, on the flip side, I give far more compliments, But see, as they say, but compliments can also be considered body shaming because you're making this the biggest thing about this person to be about their appearance as opposed to who the person really is. And you're making that to be more important than their character, than their heart, their minds, their integrity. And then my thing is when I was questioning myself, but there's a lot of time I give compliment even to strangers, especially when I see elderly people. Because a lot of time elderly people are not even seen. They exist, but they're not really seen. People just pass them over, like almost like they're in the way. And so I'm quick to give someone older compliments so they can know that I see you. I'm acknowledging you. And to see them light up and smile. Because I'm big on that. But I do remember a time that I gave someone a compliment that it didn't go well. And this person became very defensive about the compliment, but at the time I didn't understand. But now I do, because it's also how it was perceived. So while you giving compliments, do you even know how your compliments are even perceived? Do you know? Because some people just shake it off, but this particular person actually said something, which I'm thankful because that made me also check myself. And then doing this particular episode on whether or not that you're dismissing or entertaining body shaming, it really brought it home to me. And so I have to really check myself. So I'm asking you to check yourself. To check yourself. Because body shaming is a very sensitive and it's a hard thing to really overcome. So what society has done and social media has done has defined what beautiful is. And the sad thing about that, because they post all these different pictures and different people who supposed to be so beautiful by definition, by social media and by society of what's beautiful. That when you try to measure yourself and gauge yourself based on what has been defined, it's unachievable. It's no way you're going to be that person or be like that. You got all these people, but they still try cosmetic surgery. It's out the wazoo because people continuously in a cycle to do this to themselves, to do that for themselves, trying to make themselves to a place of beauty, what defined what society and social media define as beautiful. Men and women and young girls wants to be that. Instead of looking at your own self to say what's beautiful about you. And if you put so much emphasis on this exterior, you get lost in this, as if you're some object walking down the street with being window dressed and judged. You will completely lose yourself. Because every time you step out, there's a higher level of insecurity as to what people think about you. How they gonna see me or judge me? But you know what? You've already done that. You've already judged yourself. You've already degraded yourself. You've already lowered your standards for yourself even before you left home. You don't need somebody else to do that. You've already doing that enough to yourself. And that's not good, people. That is not good. You're reaching for something that's unreachable. God made us uniquely our own. Down to your fingerprint, people, that nobody does not have my fingerprint because I'm uniquely made. Now, there's some things about me that I can work on, absolutely. But I have to still find the beauty in me. And I see the beauty in me. My body is not perfect. My body will never be perfect. Because first of all, we aging. If you're living, you're aging. And as you age, your body changes. That's just the natural order of life. It is what it is. But you're chasing something that you will never ever achieve. And if in fact you're one of those people who always got to find your way to criticize, to mock, to stigmatize someone based on what you believe it to be, then you are wrong. And again, I say, turn that mirror to yourself. What are your own flaws? What are things that you can work on yourself as a personal? Not because you want to achieve somebody else's or what's defined as beautiful, but what you want to work on within yourself for you, for yourself. Whether it be something in terms of your health, but your health is everything. If you know it's something that you need to work on, and maybe you're eating that's not good for you because you now diabetic. If your doctor is saying to you that you need to lose some pounds because your blood pressure is so high, or you have arthritis and you know you're carrying too much weight. But see, those are for health reasons. They're not to impress people. They're not to get attention. But you're trying to live, and to live to the best of your ability, and to live in your most place of healthiness. Those are different reasons. But if you're chasing something so somebody can look at you and go, ah, how wonderful you look, and you're looking for a compliment, or you're looking for approval, you're seeking that, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Because just like people will compliment you on something, there's someone else who will criticize you. So you'll never make everybody happy. So you're chasing something that's not even achievable. And just like the ones who quick to say something about someone, I'm just saying to you is there's a better way to spend your time, your energy, your thoughts than looking at flaws or what you consider to be flaws in someone else. You could spend that energy on correcting your own flaws and being a better person to you. And so by me admitting to myself that I am a body shamer, I'm committed to do better and to be better. So as they were talking about giving compliments, that it could be construed as body shaming. So I found a way for me, for those that I know, or even somebody I may not even know, that is to probably ask first, if that is, do you mind if I give you a compliment? And that could be a yes or no. I'm getting permission to say, I really like the way you carry yourself. Or I really like the way you dress. If you're giving me permission to compliment you, I'm getting permission. But I'm going to try that and I'm going to exercise that. Do you mind if I give you a compliment? Because I'm using me for an example. And that is, I'm always working on myself to improve, not just the exterior, but also to just be better and do better on things. And have a better spiritual relationship with God. I'm working on myself. We all are work in progress. Remember that. From outside in, or from inside out. We all are work in progress. But at the same time, I remember as I've always been small until I got sick with a lung disease and I went up to 180 pounds and I'm only 5'1 1/4. So you can imagine what I look like. I mean, literally, people honestly didn't even know me. Would be right there and literally did not recognize me because I was unrecognizable. But I'm conscious of my weight gain. And yes, I can lose some pounds even now. And I know that. But I know when I've done that, people will give me compliments and say, wow, you lost weight. And to me, that was a compliment. I took it in high favor, like, thank you. You notice because I've been working on myself. But you know the downside of that? So I'm getting it. The downside of that is the very ones that gave you compliments. And now that you gained some of that weight back, are the very ones you want to kind of shy away from because you're no longer that person who they complimented. I'll put it like this. I'm still that person, but my exterior doesn't represent that. And so it makes me to be more the shy way, as opposed to embrace the people who would give me compliments. And my mind would be thinking, well, I know they noticed I gained some weight. Because weight for a lot of people is a battle, especially as you age. Your metabolism slows down. You're not the same. You may have some level of energy, but it's not the same as it used to be. It's easy to gain weight. You can see food and you feel like you just gained a pound because it's difficult. And so for me, I'm always trying to improve and work on myself. But the thing is, you have to catch yourself to not become obsessed. But that's a whole nother something. That's called self-surveillance. Surveillance, when you self-surveilling yourself, and anytime you're on the surveillance, you want to stake out. It's about details. It's about everything you scrutinize, everything you see. Well, you can turn that inwardly to yourself and put yourself under self-surveillance, where you literally are checking everything about you, scrutinizing everything until you become so consumed with everything about you, and everything about you start to not like. That got to be detrimental and such a mental turmoil of you constantly looking at this body who never leaves you, and you don't even like your body. So you go on this diet cycle where everything is about a diet. Food is looked at either good or bad, and then if you do something wrong, you punish yourself and don't even eat because you're so consumed with what you look like. To look like and be to look to have to care. Let's talk about this. To care is one thing. To be obsessed is something entirely different. I care about the way I look. I'm not obsessed with the way I look because I have a sugar craving. I love sugar. So you know what? I buy sweets. And because I look at it like this. I do work out. And so, but you don't know when God gonna take you home. And I could have had that slice of key lime pie before he took me. So I deprived myself of something I desired and I wanted. And I look at life that way. Life is short. You don't know when God's gonna take you home. You don't know when you're going. But life is to be enjoyed. And how are you going to enjoy life if this body you're carrying around with you 24/7 that you never leave, that you hate? Think about that. If most of your time is consumed with thinking about this body that you can't leave, how much are you really enjoying life? You can't be. Because the thing that disgusts you, you cannot leave. You have to learn to love your body. You're uniquely made. Like with women, we look at legs. Well, your legs may not be like this person's leg. But you know what? You still have good legs. Your legs are good. You walking. They may be shaped differently. We put so much emphasis on women, but we go and get all this surgery done and all this stuffed in so you can have this true a buttocks. And you literally are obsessed with a lot of what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with it. You want your hands for the right reason. But you have to ask yourself, why are you doing a lot of what you're doing? Is it for the right reason? Is it so everybody can see you, notice you? Those are not good reasons. If you're doing it for yourself, okay. Because the one that compliments you, there's many more that's going to criticize you. So you have to be real careful with that. breast reduction, breast enlargement, all of that. There's things I don't necessarily care about my body, or just my nose. I get it. Because my body is made imperfect. Your body is made imperfect. It's designed that way because we're imperfect people. So we are designed to be imperfect. Do you not know that? We are designed to be imperfect because we not made perfect. But don't let society or social media judge for you for what's beautiful with you. Don't let them make that decision for you or dictate what that is for you. See yourself as beautiful. Period. And whatever that God gave you as this body, then you make this body the best that you know to make this body. And how you, for yourself, dress to feel good about yourself. So when you walk out, you feel good. Not waiting on somebody else's approval. You feel good. And men have it just as bad. Just know that. Everything we've talked about in terms of our flaws and stuff, man, everybody's made imperfect. They get judged harshly like we do. What they wear, body parts, what they look like, facial features, hands, teeth, nose, feet, everything. They're no different. They get judged like we get judged. What they put on, how they even wearing it, who they date. He may be a really good looking guy, but he doesn't like what considered society say beautiful women. He might like just your average person, but she's beautiful. She's beautiful. You remember that saying, eyes, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder? Well, I want you to be holding the beauty that's in you. Let's look at the character. Let's look at the hearts and minds. Let's look at your level of integrity. Let's look at the things that truly matters. And all the ones who are struggling, you are no less valued than anyone that society or social media declared as being beautiful. You're no less and you're no less worthy. But you have to believe that. You are not. You are loved. You are special, like anyone else. And all of you, like myself, who are body shamers, we need to do better and be better. Because we are not here to intimidate people, put people down, criticize people, mock people, stigmatize people. Let's practice building up people. I know you're saying, "Well, I can't control my thoughts," but as quick as it's there, you want to turn it off. Don't let your thought linger to where you have a conversation in your mind about something you just saw. Because a lot of people who are going through some things that you don't even know about or in pain while you're creating this place of entertainment for yourself. Because to dismiss the missing body shaming is to be free. It's to be free, to eliminate. And the one that entertains it is the one that who engage. And we don't want to be that part who engage. Not only because you're engaging because of someone else, but also don't even engage it with yourself. Don't do that. We have to be better and do better. And I'm starting with myself. I'm starting with me. But this topic and just digging more into it really just brought it home to me. And I wanted to be of good feeding for you to take with you and take it hard. Because I'm pretty sure most of us are guilty. But we're going to do better and we're going to be better. And before I end it, let me just share this with you because I thought this was interesting to me. And because of how society and the social media define beautiful and defining you. Keep that in mind. They're defining what's beautiful about you. And they don't even know you, but they've already decided, especially when people have a tendency to gravitate to that and horn in on it and just take that as real truth. And I want to ask you when I name this, does this at any point include you? Does it? Okay. We're going to talk about what about the most 100 most beautiful women of all times? Does that include you? Well, it certainly doesn't include me. What about 10 most beautiful women in the world? Is that you? Sure, not me. What about the most beautiful woman ever seen? Ever seen? Is that you? Sure, not me. The most beautiful women, most attractive female face ever. Is that you? Because it's not me. The most beautiful woman's body, the most perfect looking girl. And then they have pictures of all these people, of what they have defined as if you look like this, if you look like that. But none of them was me. Was any of them you? What about men? Voted most sexiest men in America. People magazine does it every year. Does that include you? Not anybody I know. About the most handsome men. Anybody you know been voted the most handsome men? Nobody I know. What about the most handsome faces that you've ever seen? I don't know anybody voted for that. The most handsome man in the world? These are all the people they have plastered. If you one of these people. And then the most handsome man in the world of all times. All time. Nobody that I know. Is anybody that you know been voted for that? But you see how crazy that is, really? How people are just gonna plaster all these people and saying, if you look like this, then you're the most handsome man. Or if you look like this, you have the most handsome face ever. If you look like this lady, then like these ladies, you are the most beautiful women in the world. You have the most beautiful face. You are the sexiest. And that thing is, so you're going to define and value me based on how you decided these people are. You're going to do that. Well, you know what? I'm not letting them do that to me. I'm not letting them define me or what's beautiful about me. I'm not giving them that kind of power over me, whether I feel good about me or not feel good about me. My imperfections, part of how I'm designed by God. My nose was no accident. Know that. God put this out of all 7 kids, he gave it to one child. You think that was an accident? He chose this nose for me. Whether it brought me pain in the past, in my early years, or whatever it is, but I am designed knowing I am like my mother. This is her nose. So what do you have that you consider your flaw that you got from your parent that God specifically gave to you? Do you know he gave you that mimic from your parents? He gave you that. So this nose has become special. Out of 7 kids, he gives it to me. Why? I don't know. But I know it wasn't a mistake. Some of you might think, oh, but I'm short. I'm so wish I was taller. But God already designed you in the womb that you would be that short. Oh, I'm too tall. I mean, so it's even hard to even date or, it's even awkward or find clothes or shoes or whatever. You were uniquely made. You were uniquely made. Because God already designed you. He already molded you. when you was in the womb. From the matter of fact, even before the womb. Even when the sperm and the egg came together, you already knew what you would look like. There's no mistakes. There are no mistakes, people. You are uniquely made because God made you. That's just it. And if somebody told me this many years ago, I would have gotten through a lot of my struggles when it came to like my nose. I mean, it would have helped me to know that that is the uniqueness of what God gave me. And I'm telling you, it is the uniqueness of what God gave you. And it's some of that stuff you say you don't even like about yourself. But we're all uniquely made. All of us. I don't have to look like you, and you don't have to look like me. But you're beautiful. You're beautiful. Because we're going to let our mind and our hearts, we're going to let our character, our integrity, we're going to allow that to shine for us. We're going to allow that to bright up the room and bring light. We're going to let that to be the biggest thing in the room that people see. And that's our heart. And that's our mind. One of good character, integrity. We want to just thank God. And for common sense. That's a plus. So we're going to thank God. And we're going to love ourselves. And we're going to appreciate ourselves. Even the things we don't like. And we're always going to continue to work on ourselves. Because we always is in a place of being a work in progress. Always that. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing. We're always a continuous cycle of a process of getting better, working better, because as you age, things change. So therefore, you change with time. You change with aging. You grow. We're always trying to be a better person to ourselves. And just to be better, so we be better to ourselves, we're better to everybody else. I don't know what more I can say, but I don't know if it helped you, but honest to God, it surely helped me. It helped me. So I want to say thank you again, Lisa, for bringing this topic to the light. So thank you for that. And I hope you take things that I've said to heart. I really hope it's one that will encourage you, if you are a body shamer, to do better and be better. And before you criticize, mock, stigmatize someone else, but you consider their flaws, turn that mirror on yourself. Promise you, you're less than perfect yourself. We're all imperfect. No one is above the other. No one is valued more or valued less. We're all worthy. We're all worthy. And if anything, we're here in this place and time in life to build people up, not to tear people down. And again, what I said I want to practice more of is to ask, do you mind if I pay you a compliment? I really want to practice that. It may take me a while to get there because I'm a creature of habit. I've been complimenting just straight out so long, but I want to get better in how I do that. Because it's never with intent to hurt. It's always with intent to help and to love. I want to be someone who builds, not tear down. That's who I want to be. So who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Be one that dismisses body shaming or one that entertains body shaming? Thank you for tuning in to this particular episode. And again, check out my other episodes on my channel. You can visit me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Please subscribe, like if you like this message. If If you have not yet to be a part of my podcast community, thank you for tuning in. Thank you. And I want to say again, if you have any additional comments, please, I would love for you to leave me a comment. I want to know how you're feeling, what your thoughts are. And if you have any other subject matter that you feel should be addressed, please do so. I'm always looking for new topics because I want to meet you where you are. So thank you again for tuning in. And until the next one, again, I appreciate you and God bless.